Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into a really fascinating piece of personal writing. It's by Nzula Mercy, and it asks this pretty challenging question. Are we just sort of passively aware during things like awareness months, or are we actually practicing intentional health? Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. The source material, it uses the idea of, awareness months like October, but it really flips the script. It's all centered on this profound realization she had after a close friend had a health scare. So our mission here is to get past the ribbons, the social media posts, and really extract the core actionable stuff about listening to your body and, what it actually takes to build proactive wellness.
Right. And what's really striking is that immediate shift she describes. It's visceral. She suddenly saw awareness, not as this thing happening out there, a campaign or whatever, but as something she personally needed to engage with every single day. It really starts with this core idea that our health isn't a guarantee. It's a continuous practice.
Yeah.
Commitment.
Yeah, a commitment. And that commitment, or maybe the lack of it, really came into focus because of her friend Sarah. Sarah's health scare was like a lightning bolt, wasn't it? What was the core feeling that shifted the writer's view, from just generally caring about health to really actively owning it?
Well, the key thing seemed to be this powerful observation about, frankly, self-neglect. The quote that apparently hit her like a ton of bricks was this: "We spend so much time covering our bodies, with clothes, with makeup, with expectations, that we forget to just listen to them."
That idea of covering up, it's more than just clothes and makeup, isn't it? The source suggests she realized she'd basically been at war with her own body, like always critical of its shape or frustrated by cravings, which meant she couldn't possibly hear the quieter signals it was sending.
Exactly. If you're fighting something, you dismiss its messages. You don't listen. And connecting this to the bigger picture, the source frames things like October Breast Cancer Awareness Month,
Right.
not just as a time for pink ribbons and fundraising, but as this personal, mandatory wake-up call. It's the moment to, stop battling your own body and start building that fortress of wellness from the inside.
Right, building the fortress. And as the author points out, that means you have to notice the early warnings first. The source says health problems often start small, with these whispers, before they get loud enough to, well, shout.
Oh, yeah.
What specific signs does she mention? The kind we might just brush off because we're busy.
Oh, yeah. She lists things that are almost universally normalized today. It's kind of scary. First, there's that deep fatigue, the kind of coffee it doesn't fix it. Second, just accepting a hormonal roller coaster, mood swings, crazy cycles as just normal. That's just how it is. And thirdly, just ignoring any small persistent change, a little ache, a weird patch of skin. We're just too busy to look into it.
That coffee fatigue one, wow. I think everyone listening can probably relate to that. It's so normalized, we just think, oh, I'm busy, I must be tired. Not, maybe my body is telling me something. Okay, so if step one is just stopping and listening, what are the actual actions the writer recommends, to live with intention instead of just reacting when something bad happens?
She really boils awareness down into 3 concrete actions, intentional ones. First, that 5-minute monthly self-check, consistently, maybe in the shower, she suggests. Make it a non-negotiable habit. Second, and this takes courage sometimes, actually booking that screening, the mammogram, the checkup you keep putting off. And third, maybe the most fundamental, choosing to nourish your body with purpose, not just eating whatever to fill a hole.
Okay, nourishment. This is where it gets really interesting, I think. The writer shifts from mindset to actual physical practice. She declares, "My kitchen became my pharmacy." She realized her body wasn't asking for deprivation, but for specific therapeutic foods, for repair, for defense.
Exactly. It's a powerful pivot, isn't it?
Yeah.
From being critical of her body to actively trying to repair it on a cellular level. So she focused on specific categories of food to, as she puts it, fight back against damage and imbalance. We should probably list the main principles she focused on because it's more specific than just eat healthy.
Yeah, let's break down that nutritional strategy. What were the core ideas?
Okay, so first, she really emphasizes flooding the system with antioxidants. Think berries, dark leafy greens. The goal there is pretty clear. Neutralize those free radicals, fight cell damage. Second, a huge focus on gut health. She specifically mentions using aloe vera to soothe the digestive system. The source calls the gut the core of immunity and even hormonal balance. And finally, getting enough omega-3s, those essential fatty acids, to calm inflammation and support hormone balance.
So that makes a lot of sense. It's like giving the body the actual building blocks it needs. But the source also mentions that, years of maybe not listening, it often requires more than just adding a few good things. Sometimes you need a bigger reset. And this led her to look into structured programs.
Precisely. She felt she needed something to kind of kickstart the whole process, accelerate it. She found this specific 9-day program. It's called the C9 program. And she describes it as this journey focused on hitting a reset button. Now, just to be clear for everyone listening, this is a structured thing. It involves specific calorie goals, supplements, shake replacements. The idea is to encourage a kind of metabolic restart.
Okay, so that raises a critical question, right? A 9-day reset sounds pretty intense. And, quick fixes often get a lot of skepticism. Did the author talk about that at all? Like the whole detox skepticism?
Yeah, it seems she approached it less like a magic bullet, a quick fix, and more like an intervention. Something to break old patterns and kickstart healthier habits moving forward. The goals she mentioned weren't just about weight loss, though that might happen. It was more about cleaning the internal environment, helping her body's natural processes work better. The thinking was, by flushing out buildup, she could, reset her system and make it easier to stick to healthy choices long term.
And according to the source, what benefits did she actually claim to experience from doing this reset?
Well, she claimed it helped flush out toxins that were making her feel sluggish. She also felt it led to a more natural balancing of hormones. And significantly, she reported clearer thinking and a boost in energy levels. Oh, and she even noticed her skin started to glow, which she saw as sort of outside proof of the inside changes.
Interesting, that internal health showing up externally so quickly, which
Yeah.
actually leads us nicely from the inside cleanse to an outside habit swap with potential inside effects. The deodorant. Why did changing her deodorant become such a big deal for her? A non-negotiable switch.
Right, it seems small, but for her, it was connected to a specific bit of body awareness. She recognized that the armpits are right over a major hub for the lymphatic system. Lots of lymph nodes there.
Mm.
And her concern, which you hear a lot in wellness discussions, was that using deodorants with aluminum salts might actually be physically blocking the body's ability to sweat and potentially purge toxins in that key area.
Okay, let's pause there for a second. Because that claim that aluminum in deodorant blocks detox and harms lymph health, that's definitely a point of debate, right, in the wider medical world. Did the essay present this as proven fact or more like her own cautious choice based on maybe the precautionary principle?
It seems it was framed very much as a conscious personal choice. Eliminating a potential conflict, you could say. Her realization was pretty simple. Staying fresh shouldn't come at the expense of your wellness.
Yeah.
So for her, it was about removing that potential risk by finding an alternative she felt worked with her body, not against it.
Okay. So what alternative did she end up choosing to avoid that potential blocking effect? What were its features?
She switched to a specific product, the Forever Aloe Evershield deodorant stick. And the features she pointed out were directly related to why she switched. No aluminum, so no perceived blocking. It was also described as being gentle, good for sensitive skin. And it was infused with aloe vera, which she liked for soothing and protecting the skin while still keeping her fresh. It was about finding something effective but cooperative with her body.
So wrapping this all up, where does this leave us?
We started with this idea of distant awareness, right? And we've ended up talking about really tactical personal self-care. The big takeaway feels like this shift from just feeling sympathy from afar to taking powerful, immediate action for yourself. The source basically gives you a roadmap for intentional health.
Absolutely. The call to action she presents is pretty clear, built on 3 main pillars. 1, commit to that consistent self-check, really listening for the whispers. Make it a habit. 2, maybe consider a structured reset like the C9 she used if you feel like years of neglect need a more serious intervention to cleanse and empower your cells. And 3, look at your daily products like deodorant. Are they supporting your wellness or potentially hindering it? Make conscious swaps. The overall goal is choosing to nourish, restore, and thrive.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about listening to those body whispers before they become shouts. The author really frames health not as this external thing to worry about occasionally, but as something you actively live through daily choices.